Hey Kelly, what inspired you to write your books?
Well, it was a personal story. So, what I found right now is a lot of times there's difficulty with really and truly understanding who you are at your core, right? We accept the stories, we accept the suggestions, we accept so much input, but sometimes it's difficult to find out who we are at our core and then really walk in that authentic self. And so, back in like 2010, I started having these severe headaches and I went to the doctor to try and find out what was going on. And I asked if I could be tested for an aneurysm. And the doctor said no. The doctor said, basically, it looks like you've got, poor vision and you should get eyeglasses or it could be allergies. But because of the simple fact that I knew about my medical history and I was able to talk about certain things going on in the medical arena, I was able to circumvent an aneurysm. So the thing is with an aneurysm, and I told them, is that 50% of individuals who have an aneurysm rupture, there's a chance of fatality, or that 50% do die. So I wanted to make sure that I didn't get to that point, and I learned how to fight and advocate for myself. And so what I started doing was I started talking to more people who were just like bound because they couldn't figure out how to fight for themselves. They couldn't figure out what the words were and what the stories were. And as I talked to them, they didn't want to hear stories about celebrities, etc., because they feel like celebrities have resources and they have the access to so much more. So how could they, the everyday person, be helped? Well, I also looked at the fact that sometimes when we go into a doctor's office, doctors see about 20 patients a day, 100 patients a week, over 5,000 office visits a year. Doctors are hearing story after story after story after story. And if you give them your medical reports, if you give them this stack of paper or even this stack of paper, imagine them getting, let's say, 3,000 of this size stacks of paper. How do you stand out? How do you make yourself different? How do you make yourself memorable? How do you make sure that the physician goes and accesses the most effective resources for your situation? Well, based on that, I decided to write. I decided to write on how to help people build the narrative of self-awareness. So I can tell you something, that's great. I can show you papers, that's great. But how do I get you to buy into my story and understand who I am as a whole and help me get to my next place?
Where can we find your books?
So I like that. On Amazon, my books are on Amazon. So my first one, which I'm really highlighting right now, is called Forward It Is Tangible, because there are tangible steps to move forward. There are diagnoses right now that are being people who have immuno challenges and traumatic challenges are sometimes being misdiagnosed with psychological challenges. So the first book that I wrote is that particular book, which is called Forward It Is Tangible, and it helps people, once again, to write the narrative, write the story. My second book actually helps individuals with cognitive impairments find more opportunities post-high school. So it helps individuals with push, pull, lifting according to OSHA standards, so that if somebody has a cognitive impairment, they have more options than, let's say, pushing a shopping cart at the grocery store. They might want to move towards painting or move towards landscaping or move towards furniture moving, but it just gives them more opportunities, more strength, more balance, proprioceptive skills, and also perception skills. And then the third book is called John and Susie, One Woman and Four is a Susie, and it's about domestic violence, and it helps individuals understand how to leave safely, because once you decide to leave, the victim's life can be in danger from